Oh, come on. There. Whew. Warm enough for you? Well, I am so sorry that I was not on last week. I tell you, it starts out crazy and ends up crazy. I ended up having to take one of my Amish friends to a viewing last week. So he tried to find somebody else to take him, and he tried real hard, and he said that I was the last one on his list to call. And he said, if I couldn't do it, then, I couldn't do it. But so I ended up 2:00 in the afternoon picking him and some other Amish up and taking them about 2 hours north of here to a viewing for a cousin. And it's really sad because the woman left behind a 4-month-old baby. It's very sad. She had health issues. So, hey, Ravens Nature, how you doing? Haven't seen you guys a long time. Are you staying cool in this heat? It's like I could have gone upstairs in the cabin or in the barn. I figured the barn might be a little bit cooler. I've got fans on up in our cabin on both ends of our the cabin, blowing out so that all the hot air goes out. And it's been staying pretty comfortable. Not well, tolerable anyway. Working on the barn build. Oh, wonderful. That's exciting. Are you putting the barn in the flat area? Or are you using any of the hill? I know you got that hill behind you. That'll be really awesome. There's nothing like having a barn on your property, especially when you're doing some farming. But yeah, so I took him and some other Amish up for that viewing. And so we got home. It was around 11 o'clock. I think it was around 11 o'clock when I finally got home. Of course, I had to take everybody else home first before I could get home. And as we were leaving, the major highway up there was completely blocked. There had been an accident, a pretty serious accident. And we were supposed to leave like an hour earlier than what we did. But you know what it's like, you see people you haven't seen for a while, and it's not like they get on the phone and talk to people a lot. So they were talking and visiting, and I would have been surprised if they had left the property when they wanted to. So we were a little late leaving, and on the flat area. Okay, I'll probably take a peek when we drive by there in about 2 weeks, and I'll go into that in a minute. Yeah, so it was. These say it was a long Sunday last Sunday. Didn't get much done last weekend, but we had my one little billy goat, little buckling, Mama's little boy. I have no idea what that little guy did. Somehow, need to stop by and see me. Yes, I have just been so busy, and you're going to find out why. Oh, I tell you. For some reason, somehow, that little buckling, if it had been a leg, I could have dealt with it, But no, somehow he tore up at the top of his scrotum. It's like, you're kidding me. And it's like, that's a very sensitive area. And it's like, how could you have done that? What did you do? I ended up having to get the vet out because he was starting to run a fever. Oh man, I tell you, oh, we were. I used to have a digital thermometer for animals, and well, I came across it, when I was getting stuff together, and well, it had died, and so I threw it out, and I just hadn't replaced the digital one. Well, I found the old school thermometer, with the mercury in its glass. Well, a little bit nervous about using that on a little kid, but a billy goat kid. Um, and but I had to get his temperature. I mean, he obviously was not comfortable. He was obviously having an issue. From what I could tell from what my brief look, it looks like he had been developing an infection. That's not good. I had hoped to sell him as a breeding buck because he was a really nice looking buck. As a matter of fact, the guy that was here to trim my horse's feet, he was admiring him. But anyway, so somehow he split open at the top where it connects to his body. And it's like, then the vet said, it almost looks like someone, tried to castrate him and flubbed it up. I said, I wasn't planning on, didn't try to castrate him because I was, he's a good buck. I figured he'd make a good breeder. And so, that's something I wasn't going to do. I mean, I know how to castrate a goat. I did Little Man, and that went very well. So that wasn't an issue. I said, you know what? At this property, like for instance, where I'm putting the buck barn, I found a bunch of rusty old barbed wire and wire fencing. And I hauled that out of there. And then just as I got that all done and I'm cleaning some stuff up, and I look, across the hill there, and there's another whole pile of it. It's like, you're kidding me. And it's like, I've come across it in all different places around this property, and the goats they go around, and who knows, he could have snagged on just about anything, and he could have seriously self-castrated himself. So, but the vet seems to think he was out and he gave him an antibiotic and some Banamine. I go back and forth about the Banamine because, you know what, Banamine is a pain reliever. Having pain is probably a good thing because they're not as active if they're hurting. So, but that's what he did. He gave him a little bit of relief, and he said to keep him penned up, in the crate for a couple days, which I did. I had him in my large dog crate in the hay shelter, and I kept him there. Oh, I tell you, the saddest thing in the world is hearing a kid crying for its mama. Oh, I tell you, and he started to lose his voice. Oh, I felt so sorry for the poor little guy, but I couldn't let him out. I was supposed to let him out this morning. Well, I felt sorry for him, and I let him out last night. And he was running around and playing with the other kids, and well, then I noticed he was getting sore again, and he was hiding underneath the porch on the cabin. And so, oh, this is not good, little guy. So I got them into the pen. I figured, you know what, I'm not going to put you back in the crate. I'll leave you in the pen. He's not happy about being away from the other goats, but I did have Little Man in there. Well, somehow Little Man got out. I don't know how, but he did. So I guess, talk about a mama's boy. Little Man is very much a mama's boy. So anyway, so he's in the pen, where the barn is, the goat barn and pen, and I put a bag of hay in there for him, and he's got water. So I figured that's better than having him stuck in the hay shelter. So, because the other goats will be in there at night, they're just not in there during the day. So we had that this week. It was Tuesday I found him, and the vet couldn't come out until Thursday morning. I tried Blue Coat, and I think I gotta look and see if that other spray stuff, it's a clear stuff, that will help, because it looked like he's still got some rawness there. So I'll check him again tonight. I figured, at least if he's in the pen by himself, he's going to stay quiet. He's not going to be running around and getting into mischief, okay, and just playing rough with the other kids. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. So anyway, this week, let's see here, yesterday, last night, Miss Honey, I tell you, that horse is too smart for my own good and for her own good. So she destroyed the gate that I had down back. You know what? It was a temporary gate. It wasn't even supposed to be there as long as it was. And it was starting to deteriorate. Well, she completely wrecked it. And she figured out from watching the goats going through the fence that the fence is not working. And I didn't know where the problem was. It took me a while to find it, but I was working on fence last night. And I think I found the weak spot. And I completely redid it. I just wanted to get the top wire hot. Okay, take the strain off the charger so it's not charging all the strands, just the top one, because that's all I need for Honey. Okay, and so I worked on that last night, and I got it all. And could I find my fence tester? Well, it doesn't do me any good in the daylight anyway, because you can't hardly see it. It kind of has the lights on it, and if they painted the inside of those things black, you'd be able to see the lights. But it's the same. The plastic is the same color as the lights, almost. So it's really hard to see in broad daylight. And I was looking at the ones that show you where the fault is, and they're like around $100. It's like, well, guess what? We're not going to get one of those right away. We'll just do it the old-fashioned way, So that's what I did. I'm testing the fence with my finger. I tell you. So I figured out where the problems were. I didn't go all the way around. I was concentrating on from the charger to the barn and around the other side of the barn down to the back gate. Okay. Figure if I can get that hot, I don't think Honey was going to mess with any of the other. So I got it hot, and I got the line going from the other side of the people gate to the across the people gate towards the charger. I got that, so that was, working. This way, if it bites and it's hot, I wasn't getting a very strong bite down back, but I was hoping that it was strong enough with Honey. Oh my word, there was a mouse just climbed out of my sunflower seeds. And where is there a cat or a dog when I need one? I suspected I was getting a mouse in there. I've got a container for the sunflower seeds. It's just I've got a big 50-pound salt block on there. And I haven't, it's supposed to go in with the horses, but they're still working on the old one. They're not going through it as fast as I thought they were. So I got this 50-pound block sitting there, and I didn't feel like moving it to put sunflower seeds in there, but it looks like I don't have any choice. I'm going to have to. Oh, fun. Well, if you get a barn, you got mice, unfortunately. That's why I have a cat. And Gracie is also pretty good at it, but they're not in here. So what good is it? Anyway, so the little guy, he's doing okay. He's still not comfortable. He was supposed to be going. I'll get back to Honey in the fence in a second. He was supposed to be going to the auction tomorrow. My son and I were taking the 3 bucklings to the auction in Richmond. And that was our plan. I mean, we had it all scheduled. We were going to go. And then this little guy injures himself. and talked to the vet, and he said, "Yeah, he'll heal, but I wouldn't take him to the auction, tomorrow or Monday. The other two, yeah. Well, I'm not going to take two and then have to make another trip with just one more. I'll just wait another 2 weeks, and then they'll all go up to the auction, and hopefully the prices haven't come down that much, because the goats were bringing a really good price. So, and I've got some good quality goats. So anyway, so that's on hold for 2 weeks. I know I'm bouncing. This floor is a little bit jiggly. So anyway, the fence and Miss Honey. Oh, I tell you, that horse. So I got, the gate was demolished. Okay, so there ain't nothing I can do about the gate. Okay, yeah, I could take it apart and try and put it back together. It's like, but she already figures it out. So I put a hot line. I changed the kind of wire it was from the yellow and black to the white. Okay, hoping that the white will stick out more and she'll respect it. No, that ornery horse, she figured out she can go under it. And if she runs fast enough, she doesn't get bit that hard. Oh, I tell you. So I was getting ready to go to bed last night about 9 o'clock, and I hear this clip, clop, going across the bridge. She did not go under that wire while I was down there. I had her by the halter. I was hoping she would touch that fence, so I'd know that she would know that it was hot again. Would she touch it? No, she wasn't going to touch it. And I took her down to that spot, and I was trying to get her to touch that wire. Would she touch it? No. She came close. But no, she wasn't going to do it with me there. So I figured, well, maybe she's got it figured out that since I was down here, that it's now going to bite her. No, she waits until 9 o'clock last night. She goes under the fence wire, and I hear the clip clop, and she's out here. So needless to say, I got Honey's halter, and Honey got tied in the barn all night last night. Now, it may sound mean, but at least I know she was safe, and she ties very well. If she was a horse that didn't stand quietly when tied, it was antsy when being tied, it'd be another story altogether. But last night, that was the only option I had. So, and with Honey, I know I can do, as a matter of fact, she does better tied than she does in a stall. She hates being in a stall. She would be in a state if she was in a stall. Being tied, she's fine. Some horses hate being tied, and they're fine in a stall. Honey's the opposite. Nope, don't stall her in. She hates it. So anyway, so what have I got to do? Well, the only option I have is to put up a real gate. And I was going to be working on that this morning, but I had a few other issues to deal with. For one thing, that goat. So I've got the gate. Remember, I told you when we went to to pick up some gates for the Amish auction, and I got, because they were so cheap, I was just going to get 2, but I decided to get 3 because they were so cheap. Good thing I got that third gate. Because guess where it's going? Yep, right down back. So anyway, so I got to put in 2 posts for a real gate. And I'm going to have to adjust the electric fence to accommodate it, because this gate's a little bit wider than what was there, which is fine. I was going to put a wider gate in there anyway. Thankfully, remember Sunny Hill had sent me that $100 gift card. Well, I put it to use. Sunny, thank you very much. I told my husband that Harbor Freight had an auger for a little over $200. I said, I'll pay the first 100 and you can pay the rest. It's like, because I've got all these posts to put in over here for the buck barn. It's like, yeah, I've only got one post in. I haven't even started the auger yet because things got so bad in that buck barn, not the buck barn, the regular goat barn. I started cleaning it and it's like, oh man, I would let this go way too long. So I've been cleaning out the goat barn as I can. And I could not believe I've got a huge pile right out here. And yesterday morning, it was cool enough when I came out to take care of the goats. There was steam rising off the pile. I said, yeah, that's going to be good stuff. Good stuff for the garden. But anyway, I still have quite a bit. I'm just trying to get down to the bare dirt. And then once I get down to the bare dirt, then I got to start hauling gravel over there. Because I'm going to put a basic gravel in on the goat barn. So I don't have to deal with this anymore. It'll be better for the goats, better for the goats' feet. And I'm not going to do the deep litter for goats. No, that's got to keep it clean, got to keep it dry. And the gravel will help, but all that bedding on top, all it's done is just make more work for me. So once I get that cleaned out and I get the gravel base in, I'm not going to put straw in there anymore. Okay, it'll be shavings, because shavings are much easier to clean. You know, straw, you would not believe the bed, because straw was the first thing I put in there. But I mean, bear in mind, when that goat barn was built, it was just before the cold snap, and I had 2 sets of young twins that I needed to keep warm in there. So I put straw down because I figured that was going to be warm, get them up off the cold floor. So I don't really regret that. It's just now I'm going to pay for it because now I got to clean it out. Okay. And yeah, it's all going to get cleaned out. So once I get the gravel base in there, then that'll be a lot nicer for the goats. And I got 2 kinds of gravel sitting here. I got the driveway kind and the dense grade. And I think maybe the dense grade might be better in there because it gets more like a concrete kind of over time. The more it's worked on and trampled down. And I also need to dig a drainage ditch on the other side of the barn, on the uphill side of the barn, so that the water runs away from the building and not under the building. So that's what's going to be done. So needless to say, the buck barn got put on hold because I was cleaning out the regular goat barn. But it's got to be done. It's got to be done. You know, and I got to take a hold on the cleaning up the goat barn because I got to get this gate put in. Because, you know, otherwise I'm going to have to tie Honey every night. Deezer doesn't mess with it. Okay? But like I said, Honey is smarter than... She's too smart for her own good. So, oh no, either everybody's abandoned me, or it's just too hot. So anyway, the garden, well, I'll tell you, I got 2 raised beds put together and almost filled. I got another one. I got the ends built, but I haven't got it all put together. It's in this heat. It's like I can't be out in the heat. I try to do what I can in the morning before it gets hot, and it starts to get hot around 11, closer to noon. Okay, and then I try and do things inside. And then in the evening, I'm out doing stuff, but I can. Like last night, I was working on a fence. So I didn't get the holes drilled for the auger with the auger this morning for the fence post. But if I don't get to it tonight, I'll probably get to it tomorrow morning. I just got to leave the halter on Honey. I hate to do it. I've got normally Honey doesn't have a halter on, and she's not a problem to catch if she's in the pasture. But if she's out, she can be a pain to catch. So I have a cheap halter that if she gets snagged, it's easy for it to break or come off. And she's very good at breaking halters, believe me. So I put that on her so that if she's out and I have to catch her for whatever reason, I can do it. I mean, I've been able to catch her, but if she thinks that she's going to get put away when she doesn't want to get put away, she'll bolt. So, but I'm keeping Deeza in, unfortunately for Deeza, because she could use the better grass. But if I keep her in, then Honey's going to stick around. So that's the wonderful thing about the herd mentality, you know. They don't like being alone, so they're going to stick around. So anyway, that has been what it's been like this week. Medical emergencies, fencing problems, horse problems. They got their feet trimmed this week, which was fine. And he charged me a little bit less because he says they're so good. They stand there quietly, not a problem. So he did them lickety split fast, and I took them home, and we're all good. Yes, it was an Amish farrier. So they were a little bit late getting their feet trimmed this year, just because the guys I'd been using, they've been so busy they haven't had the time. So I got the guy that's lives across the street from them, and he does horse trimming. It's just usually people bring the horses to him, and I don't have a trailer, so I can't take them to him. They have, whoever does them has to come to me. So anyway, so that's how crazy it's been this week. But Becky, hey, I tell you, I want to stop in. You know, I just haven't had the time. Well, you know how it's been. It's been crazy. Hopefully, I think we've got a cool down coming. I think sometime next week, I think. We're a little dry. We could use a little rain. I think we got some coming. Oh, I hear Joy. So I tell you, never seen a little coat. Oh, Joy is so funny. She comes out in the morning. She's hopping and jumping and ready to take on the world and just going nuts. Little Ruthie is like, do I have to get up now, Mom? She's the last one, always the last one out in the morning. So it's just too funny. But yeah, Joy is very rambunctious, very energetic. And she'll sometimes play with Chucky too. Oh, that's the other thing. Chucky has been disbudded. And I don't like disbudding, and when necessary, I would prefer to not have to disbud, but Chucky is a male Jersey. I have not banded him yet. I need to band him real soon. But Jerseys tend to get a little bit rambunctious. And when I felt the nubs on his head, as I've been checking ever since I got him to see if maybe the where he was born, if they had done anything, because there's something that they can do that is chemically based to disbud them. And I didn't know he was old enough that it may have been healed over. So I just kept checking to see if I felt any buds. And yeah, he had buds starting. So it's like, okay, we need to get that done, because when he's closing in on 1,000 pounds, I don't want to have to deal with horns. Okay. You know, he's been pretty good. He's fairly easy to manage at this age, but as he gets older, as he gets bigger, maybe not so much. So, which is another reason why I need to get this fence done, because once he's weaned from Daisy, he will be in with Honey and Deeza. So I've got to make sure that fence is secure, and that it's better for him. So this pasture down here that I have the five line electrical fence in, that will hopefully over time be replaced with hoping board fence along the driveway, and then I'll probably have to get somebody to do wire fence going down the hill And what we do beyond that, we'll see. I know I'm getting board fence for around the barn and from the driveway to the barn. So that's the plan anyway. And it may take me a while, and hopefully I get it done before he's too big. I'm hoping. So it'll be a board fence with electric. Because your board fence will last longer that way. If they think they're going to get bit and they're not going to lean on it. So that's the plan. We'll see. All depends on how things go. Lumber is a little bit cheaper going to a sawmill than it is going to a big box store. So, I was able to get some reclaimed lumber from my golden neighbor's old barn he's trying to tear down. I got some good lumber that I can use for building the buck barn, so we should be good there. I was afraid I was going to have to buy some more lumber, but I think I've got enough to do it because it's going to be a much smaller building. Okay. I think I have it figured out to be it's either an 8x10 or a 6x8. There's not going to be many in there, and so it's just for shelter in bad weather and at night. So they'll be fine with smaller shelter. Smaller shelter, it won't be as cold. They'll have more body heat, so to keep themselves warm. So that's why I'm going with smaller building. So I'll get that done and then work on this fence line. And yes, somewhere along the line, hoping that we can get something going with the back porch on the cabin. I'm not sure on that yet. I'm filling in an application for a grant. I don't know if it's gonna fly with them or not. Some of the criteria I meet, some of it I don't. So I don't know. As the woman that I was talking to at the auction, she was telling me about the grant, and she said, yeah, people that weren't even farming got the grant. And I am farming, but still, you don't know until you apply. And if they allow it, then it'll help me to improve my chicken and chick production. Because I'll have some place that I have my brooders and my incubators, not to mention an office space, which I am desperately need of, so I can keep track of everything. It hasn't been easy because I don't really have a home for everything. So if I get that done, then I can work on getting the plumbing in and done, because I'm holding off with getting the catchment system in because I don't know if I can get that back porch built, then I'll put the gutters on that. Okay. I can get the gutters put on the front, and that's better than nothing. But I'll see if I can't do that. But if I got the guys here working, putting the porch on, then they'll be here. They can put the gutters on. So that'll be everything all together. So I'm hoping that works out. But we'll see. I was working on the application, and then my computer went and shut down. And I lost everything, so now I got to go back and do it all again. So anyway, I know that this is a short one, but it is hot, and even Honey, even though she's so funny, she knows how to get in and how to get out of the pasture. Can she get herself back in? No. When she wants in, she goes and stands by the gate right here by the barn. She could go around. She could go down the way she came up and go back in that way. No. She stands by the gate and she expects me to come and let her in. So I'll let her in just before I went live, and we'll see how long she stays in there. That mouse coming. How many mites do I have in that sunflower seed? Okay, I gotta go. I gotta deal with a mouse. Okay, one way or another, I gotta deal with a mouse. So I will talk to you later, people. Stay cool. I know it's hot. So, Becky, I'll try and stop in sometime, but you know what it's like. I don't get up that way that often anymore. But hopefully, it won't be too long and I'll be able to do that. Okay. I'll see you later.